At the Institute for Molecular Bioscience, we're developing drugs that we hope will change the course of their disease. You could slow down the course of disease and maybe even prevent it. These are the sorts of game-changing drugs that we're talking about for patients, bringing symptomatic relief, but really getting at the heart of their disease to stop it or even reverse it.
We've seen through the COVID pandemic that the importance of science in the development of vaccines and dealing with the health problems that face us. Almost all of our economy is currently powered with fossil fuels. And we know from the whole climate change modelling work that's been done that we have to transition to renewables. And solar energy is by far the largest renewable resource that we have. Australia gets something like 50 times the amount of solar energy that we require to power the planet. And we can tap into that and not just make electrons for electricity, but a whole range of high value products like vaccines, monoclonal antibodies, etc., using the power of the sun. One of the things that we can do is use algae for carbon capture. So you capture the CO2 by the algae, but instead of making fuels, you can make a product called biochar, which is basically a charcoal made from the algae, which can then be put back into soils and stored. I think this is going to be a really important way to drive emissions down and to keep us in that safe zone for climate change.
We're really trying to come up with new therapeutic solutions that are better treatments for patients. The real world impact is really around treating diseases. This has been a 20-year pathway to get us where we are today. There's a lot of diseases, inflammatory diseases like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Now they're treated at the moment, but they're treated with what are injectable antibodies, these large macromolecule proteins that you can't take as a pill. And because you can't take them as a pill, they're obviously not as convenient. So what we do is we've come up with a new scaffold, the way you can give them orally, so you take them as a pill. Now the advantage of that is you get good efficacy and you get good safety and you get longer remission, so you can treat patients better and you can actually then get more convenient, so they're more compliant and they don't skip their medicines. As a consequence, you treat that disease better. I just can't wait for the day to have drugs on the market that are actually impacting on people's lives. And I think that's inspirational. That's why you're trying to do this.
Well, our work is all about discovering peptides and proteins from nature and using it in drug design applications and in agricultural applications. We've been really working in this area for almost about 30 years now. When we first came across reports of interesting plants in Africa, and then we've gradually progressed to look at animal venoms and a whole range of other plants. The stage it's reached now is where we've discovered molecules that are super potent as painkillers, for example, or as anti-cancer agents, and now we're at the stage of testing them and hopefully getting to clinical trials in the next couple of years.
One of the reasons I'm at IMB is because I think there's a huge value in multidisciplinary science.
This is going to be a really important way to drive emissions down and to keep us in that safe zone for climate change.
So we're looking at edible medicines essentially. Really we think we could have a huge impact in changing the face of agriculture and medicine.
And really that inspiration came from nature.
At the Institute for Molecular Bioscience, we dare to imagine.
We dare to imagine.
We dare to imagine out-of-the-box thinking can transform lives and livelihoods.